Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om. A very warm welcome to yet another session of this quest series that Indica Moksha is doing. And today we have a very special guest, Sugandha Agnihotri ji, who is basically from Lucknow and currently doing a Vedanta Sadhaka course in Kerala. And so we will be discussing about her life journey, her interest in Vedanta today. Uh, oh, but before that, let me begin with a small prayer and introduce the guest today to all of you. Sada Shiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Parampara Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murtibheda Vibhagine Vyomavatyaptadehaya Shri Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Sugandha Agnihotri ji has previously worked as research associate at Indian Institute of Management, Lucknow, and under a Government of India sponsored project called District Development Plan Phase 2. And she has also worked as a program manager in a Jaipur-based NGO, Gramodaya Samajik Sansthan. And she has also worked as a technical associate in Forest Survey of India, Dehradun, as a trainee at Indian Institute of Remote Sensing, Dehradun. So she has a lot of experience in NGO sector and forest sector. But apart from that, she also has a deep interest in spirituality, in sadhana, especially in Vedanta. So she's currently doing full-time a 1-year course of Vedanta Sadhaka course being done by Chinmaya International Foundation. So we are very happy to have her here. A very warm welcome to you, Sugandha ji.
Thank you so much. I'll start with a prayer.
Yeah.
I just remember the gods. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatye Namaha. Om Shri Krishnaya Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. So, thank you so much for this introduction. Yes, I worked in different sectors. But I'll call it like it is like neti. I wanted to do this, I wanted to do that, but nothing was giving you satisfaction. Maybe that is why so many diverse experiences. So yes, my inclination towards this Vedanta, I don't even say like Vedanta because I didn't know what I was searching for, right? So I had no idea what I was searching for, what I was seeking. But yes, there was definitely something that I was seeking that I knew, because nothing was.
How far back can you remember this thirst for knowledge or this seeking? How far back can you think back?
Yeah, it was always there. Like it was always there. As a kid, we grew up like in 80s, 90s, right? So at that time, the families, like my parents, they worked hard, to provide for us and the main focus was education, like academics. The kid should do good in academics. So that was the main focus. So they worked hard. They provided us everything, best schools, colleges, and everything. But somehow this part is compromised. Like what you are inside, that is overlooked because it is no one's fault. It is the demand of that time only, that you just focus on the studies, get a job, get settled. But sometimes there is this hollowness that I don't know how to explain it, that you are there, everybody is enjoying things, and yeah, you are enjoying it, but somehow that it is not permanent. It has something which is, it will go away. It will lead to something. Sorrows will come, happiness will come. So it was always there. I wanted to learn more, yes, but there were no resources at that time. Yes, there were no resources, because whatever introduction I got for spirituality, it was, I would try to rather say, like we had values. Yeah, in Indian family system, you are given values, instilled with values. You cannot run away from it, like from the very start, that Anna Devta, Vidya Mata, right? In such a small things, you learn things to respect even for inert objects. When you learn to respect people and human beings and animals, everything. You are connected to nature. So there was something more than what appears. That is obvious. But what was it? Like, yeah, bhakti was there. In our homes we have temples, we have daily pujas. Bhakti was there. But it is, you are considering god, you are praying to it, yeah, especially for exams and such occasions, you remember god. But at least that connection was there. But first introduction towards spirituality, I would say it was when I started reading literature. Like, we were introduced to bhakti saints, then Mirabai, Kabir Das, Rahim Das. So when we started learning them, then there are deep meanings to it and very beautiful. The dohas of Kabir Das and Rahim Das. So that introduced me to something. There is something deeper. They talk about oneness of everything. So yes, that was the introduction, but nothing much beyond that in earlier phases. Then when the adolescence comes and you become rebel, the values start changing. You start questioning everything. And at that time, there was in a school there was a chapter on Tulsidas. So we studied, and there were famous lines, the controversial lines of those, that Ramcharitmanas. So they came, and I started questioning it also. And I asked my mother, I remember clearly, I asked my mother whether, it was written in such a way, that chapter, that I started questioning the existence of Sri Ram. I asked her, whether it is a fiction. If it is a fiction, then how skilled the author is, that people are worshipping the main character so nicely. So yes, I started questioning that also. So there are phases in life. You keep exploring, you keep questioning.
So when did you come back, so to speak,
Yeah,
come back home?
come back home. So, and to Sone Pe Suhaga, as you say, I went to JNU also, no. So
Okay.
yeah, so there were so many diversions. Yes, but
So was there a leftist phase as well when you were in
oh
JNU?
no, somebody saved me. Somebody saved me. I don't know who, just because we were in science departments, no. So there you don't get much time for all these things. Yeah, but when you live in an environment, it affects you. Yes. So your ideas are formed on that basis. You cannot help it. So that, yeah, homecoming, yeah, it happened in this lockdown only. Yeah. I feel very blessed that somehow I came back. So in lockdown I started exploring, like there were questions. It just, you are so much unsettling things inside, that because as a kid you always respected your civilizational values, your gods. And then in between you are fed up with these theories that there was everything wrong with your society, everything, that it is so divisive, it is so much exploitation. So those ideas, they don't settle. There is a conflict inside, and you don't know how to settle it. So somehow I just started, because a lot of time was there in lockdown, so I started exploring. I started learning more. I started to find the answers, and then I was taken to the right side of the YouTube and online websites, I think. Then, yeah. So I came back. There were, like, as a kid I listened to these Mirabai bhajans, MS Subbulakshmi's Mirabai bhajans, and there was the sacred chants of Shiva. So there were Adi Shankaracharya's work, Nirvana Shatakam, Shiv Manas Puja. So that always I had this inclination, but in lockdown I came to know it is Adi Shankaracharya's work, and it was like somebody's forcing me back. Come on, yeah, this is not. Don't deviate now. Yes, so I started learning, and it is, if you start exploring, then you will find out there are gems like. And in lockdown, I was so lucky that Mahabharat, Ramayan, Sri Krishna, Upanishad, Ganga, all was telecasted at that time. And I was going through it, and it was like a virtual satsang for me. Everything was going right. So, and in those series also, like if you don't have faith in the characters or stories, at least the philosophical point, the gems, they are gems, so beautiful philosophies. So it just made me more, inclined towards it. Then Upanishad Ganga I watched, and I wanted to learn Upanishads. There was this feeling inside me that I really want to know that if this is called the highest philosophical text out there in the world. Human mind, what the human mind can reach the highest philosophical level, and it is in Upanishads. So I thought, I should learn it, but I really had no idea how to. Yeah, till I found this.
Wonderful, wonderful, interesting journey. So
Yeah.
you kind of heard about Vedanta through this Upanishad Ganga series. If I is it correct?
Yes, but before it, I was preparing for UPSC also. So there we studied a little bit about everything like ancient history. So yes, Upanishads, that the Mahavakya, which is from which Upanishad it comes in question. So yeah, we learned that. Yeah. So the introductory level, that history books, but yes, Upanishad Ganga was main thing, that the gems were there. I wanted to learn it. Yes.
So how did you find out about this Vedanta Sadhaka course that is you are currently doing? Can you tell us more about the course structure and your
Okay.
experience that has been in the last few months?
Yes. So first thing, I'll really say this is a blessing that I'm here. And if you see my background, I have nothing. I had no knowledge. I had no connection. People are here who are associated with Chinmay mission, or are associated with some ashrams, or spiritual places or teachers. I had nothing, and the only thing I had was just faith that somebody will help me. So yes, so somebody is helping me, that I know for sure. See, I really went to those right sites, right YouTube channels, right Twitter handles, right, for a reason. And then, so I am not on Twitter, but I used to browse the handles, some of the handles, very interesting handles like True Indology, and J. Deepak, Sangam Talks, and Shefali Vadya. One was her. So I don't know how it happened, but I was browsing her handle, and there was this BSc Indic Academy's scholarship page, and I saw it, and I thought, okay, let me see what is it. Yeah, so just curiosity. So I went to the yeah, it happened like that. So I read it, and then there was this BSc course. So I said, okay, let me read what is it. Then I started reading about it, BSc course, and there was Upanishads there in tentative curriculum. They had Upanishads, and then there was this Ganesh Atharvashish. I was listening to it for like 2-3 years, and I loved it. I loved Ganesh Atharvashish, and there was this line in that it should not be given to undeserving disciples, right? So I used to think that in this life, whether I would ever be become a deserving disciple to get this knowledge, to get to learn this Atharvashish properly. And it was there in the tentative curriculum, so it was a sign for me to go for it. So I applied for the Indic Academy's scholarship, and I applied for this course also. And I just applied because I had no background, so I thought maybe they won't consider, but they are like they are very good. So they just selected my application, and they took the interview, and I got selected. So it's
Wonderful.
God's grace, yes.
Yes, wonderful. So can you tell us more about the structure of the course and
Yes.
how has been your experience till now? I think it's been few weeks since the
It's
course
been 2 months.
started. Two
Yeah,
months. Yeah.
October it has started. So the course has we have 7 Upanishads and 12 Prakran introductory text,
Uh,
and there is Sankshipt Ramayan, Sankshipt Bhagavad, and Gita, whole Bhagavad Gita, 18 chapters, and Narad Sukta, Narad Sutra, Panch Sutra,
Narad Bhakti
Narad
Sukta.
Bhakti Sutra, Narad Bhakti Sutra, and basic about Sanatan Dharma Parichay, and Sanskrit studies. Yes, we have this as course structure. We have this.
So,
So,
what are the Upanishads and Prakarana Granthas? Some of them covered.
Prakarana Granthas we have covered till now. Into Upanishads we have not started yet because introduction only going on. So first we studied Bhaj Govindam. Oh, it's a beautiful text. Everyone should read it. Yeah, it's a beautiful text. Bhaj Govindam. Then we studied this Sadhana Panchakam. Then if I tell you honestly that I didn't know what is the meaning of sadhak, what is the meaning of sadhana, really. I came here with this, I just took the leap of faith, I think. And when I came here, then I learned what is sadhana, what is being a sadhak through when I studied Sadhana Panchakam. Then after that, we studied Tattva Bodha. Tattva Bodha is like introduction, the definitions of Vedanta. So after that, we have just finished Atma Bodha.
Okay.
So yes.
Next, you will be taking up which text?
Upadesh Star. We will take Upadesh Star. Yeah. It
Which
will
one?
start Upadesh Star.
Upadeshas. Okay.
And
Wonderful.
Vivek Chudamani is also going on. Yes.
Okay. Wonderful. Which are the 7 Upanishads that will be covered in the future?
Okay. So I don't remember all, but I remember Kena Upanishad, Taittiriya Upanishad, and the main Upanishads. Let me recall. Yes. The main Upanishads. How can I forget? Kena Upanishad, Taittiriya Upanishad.
Ishavasya should be covered as well.
Yes, Ishavasya and
Katha, perhaps. Katha Upanishad.
Upanishad. Yes, 7 Upanishads are there. I am so sorry, I cannot give you the right names. Right.
Yeah. Wonderful. It sounds all very exciting. So, how is the daily routine there? I mean, the classes, and you must be having some time for self study and some other activities also. Can you just share details?
Yes. So in morning, our morning starts at like 5. It is personal only whenever you want, but 7 o'clock we have morning session, one Vedanta session. So you have to finish your daily routine before that, like your sadhana, your own personal sadhana, and if you want to do yoga or anything you want to do, you have to finish it. Then 7 o'clock you need to reach the class. Then for 7 to 8:30 we have class, then breakfast, and then alternate we have Sanskrit classes. Like there are people from foreign countries also, so based on that we have 2 batches of Sanskrit, one for very basic level where they don't know the Devanagari, so alternate classes go on. So ours is like the second batch, so that Sanskrit class. Then we have chanting classes where we learn sukts and stotrams, like Ganesha Vishesh, we learned in those chanting classes only. Medha Sut, we are learning now Medha Sut. And then lunch, then we have Swadhyay time till 4:30. Then 4:30 we have another Vedanta session. Then we have a gap of 1 hour. Then at 7 o'clock we have satsang. Yeah.
Wonderful. So satsang means it will be more of discussion kind of thing. Bhajan and all is there?
Bhajan, we have bhajan. Then we have like Nitya Puja, Nitya Sadhana. So we started the Prata Smarami, and then Sharda Strot and Shiv Manas Puja. So all this, what should be done like in regular basis in your Nitya Niyam, whatever it should be there, that is we are studying in satsang right now. Yes.
Oh, wonderful. So, what are the, I mean, as a Vedanta seeker, sadhaka, I mean, at least now since you are formally pursuing Vedanta sadhana, so I can definitely describe you as a Vedanta sadhaka or seeker. So, what are the challenges that you have personally encountered in your journey now? I mean, something that you are learning something new things and on your self-reflection. So certain challenges you may be thinking that you have in front of you in a spiritual journey. So, and how do you plan to tackle them? And overall experiences that you have had in the last 2 months?
Yeah. So as a seeker, now I would say the toughest thing is mind control. Yes, it is. Like everything, like values are instilled in us from very start. So okay, selflessness, like not being selfish, sticking to honesty, truthfulness, this is all right. You practice it, daily in your life. But mind control is something very, very tricky. Yes. So Sri Krishna himself said, no, in this, chapter 6, I think, no, Atmasayam Yoganam. So the mind control is the biggest hurdle, I think. Then all the 6 qualities that we have, no, Shama Adi Sampati, we learned, like Shama, Dama, Upurama, Titiksha, Shraddha, Samadhan. So for me, it is like mind control, because following niyam, like we spent like our 30 years of life without any discipline. Yeah, indisciplined we are. Nishachar we were, studied at night. We are 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. Our days used to start. So that discipline, that is the biggest thing, that you can force yourself, but your body will start revolting, your mind will start revolting, you are sleepy whole day. It is a big task to take things under your control, the mind under control. So mind control, I think that is the biggest hurdle. Yes, niyam is the biggest thing that I need to work on as Sadhak.
I think Indriya Nigraha is perhaps the greatest challenge for most of us. In fact, all of us, I would say,
Yes.
among all the qualities, I think Indriya Nigraha is the most difficult one to master.
Yes.
But moving further, you mentioned about all these Prakarana Granthas you have studied, and but basically, all these texts, by definition, a text or a Shastra is basically a Shabda Pramana, which reveals some knowledge. So
Yes.
basically, the purpose of the Shastra is kind of to shape our worldview. You spoke before about how when you are in JNU and all the surrounding environment shapes you to think in a certain way. So,
Yes.
so after you have started this formal study of Vedanta, how has it helped you in shaping your worldview? How has it helped you in changing your worldview and your current perspective on how you approach different objects, different things, different people, life itself? So, some thoughts on this.
Yes, so we are studying so many good texts, some gems, beautiful philosophies. So the first thing that you get this appreciation for the roots you have. This appreciation is very important. You people now see the negatives only, right? They forget all the values they had. They are holding right now. It is because of those roots only. Whether you recognize it or not, it is there, right? So yes, appreciation for this civilizational values, it comes when you start studying those texts. Then for the worldview, like there is this one very good shloka in Atmabodha, like upadane akhiladhare jaganti parmeshware sarg sthiti layanyanti budbudani vivarini. So word, like the impermanency of the word and the substratum of the word is like the it's one Brahman only, it is it, no? So the words, like they come up, they stay, and they dissolve in that Parmeshwar only. So it's such a beautiful thing, if you start considering it, you will stop taking life seriously. It is just it's just mithya when you study about it. It's mithya, but yes, it is there. You have to face it, you have to live in it. But the oneness of people, the oneness of everything, that is one philosophy that unites us. We study now Western philosophers about unity, and we the new lines, unity in diversity. But we had such culture from so long, right? There was this line, ekam satyam vipra bahuda vadanti.
Vadanti.
Yes. So it's all the oneness of religions, oneness of every sect out there. Whatever you believe in, it is one. So the worldview, I think, it's like from the start. See the impermanency. It is impermanent. Something is missing. Something is hollow. But yes, while studying it, it was hammered like in my head that yeah, it is impermanent. Do not worry about it now. Yes.
Do
So
not be too much attached to it.
yes, yes. Do not get to yes. That and vairagya is very important. Vairagya is one of the qualities that one should develop. Yes.
Wonderful, wonderful. So
Yes.
this reminds me of the Upanishadic Upanishadic verse, which says that yeah, yastu sarvani bhutani atmanyeva anupashyanti.
Yes.
One who perceives all beings as his own atman.
Yes.
For him there is no moha, there is no attachment, there is no disgust, there is no wonderful. So, and I think this is one of the most difficult thing to achieve
Yes.
in this conviction that this vivekam that Brahman alone is nitya and Jagat
Yes.
is anitya, is temporary, is impermanent.
See,
Mm,
every like so many problems are there. The solution could be just one if you stop, differentiating people, things, everything. If if I see myself as you see me as yourself. There are no differences. I would not do anything to hurt you. You will not do anything to hurt me. It will solve everything. It's such a beautiful philosophy when grasps it.
yes, yes, indeed. I think now I have one final question, especially with your background in social work and your work with ecology. You have worked in this forest
Yes.
department and all.
Yes.
So, how do you see the social work, the ecological work now? After doing 2 months of Vedanta course, and having gained some insight into Vedanta, how do you see the social work and work related to ecology now in the context of Vedanta or in the context of spirituality? Do you think pursuit of Vedanta gives a new perspective, perhaps a new approach, a better approach, way to understand and pursue social work and ecological work?
Indeed, it gives. See, what we do is first we see the problem and we try to solve it, right? But where is the cause of that problem? We forget it, right? And we survived for thousands of years. Like the civilization survived for thousands of years without harming the nature, with in oneness with nature. Why? Because we saw it as ourselves, right? It was never differentiated. All the beings were respected in our in our uh, religion only. We have gods, all have a vahan, which is an animal, right? So that respect, you have that respect even for the poisonous snakes. You respect them, right? So these values are instilled in you from the very start through when you are following a civilization like Sanatan Dharma. But Vedanta, if you ask Vedanta, yes. So we studied about this Maya creation theory, right? So it has this Panch Mahabhuts, and then from there everything starts. And then there is this wonderful concept of presiding deities, right? So everything has a presiding deity, right? So when you see it like that, when you know that uh, like for Shabda, the presiding deity, Dig Devta, right? So when you know that there is a presiding deity for everything you do, yeah, for your Gyanendriyas, there are presiding deities for everything. So when you know there is someone who is governing it, who is overlooking you, then you won't do anything wrong. Can you understand? Yeah, it is such a nice concept. If you just go through it, like that there is someone governing it, who's taking care of it, who is taking care of everything, and who is overlooking all your actions. So you have that feeling that somebody is above me who is watching it and who's writing it down somewhere. So you yourself are in line, right? So this is one thing. Then about ecology and forestry and other social work areas. See, uh, the greatest thing that from where the social work starts, it's compassion, right? When you have compassion, then only you can go in that field and you can work for others. But Vedanta says there is no other, right? So that is the beauty. No, it's all you will work. See, we love ourselves, right? uh, and that's how we sustain, we survive. So we love ourselves, we will give ourselves the best. And when we see the others are as ourselves, then we will do our best for everyone. So yes, and if you want to see the examples, like all those realized masters, there are like Swami Chinmayanand only. So there is Chinmaya Organization of Rural for Rural Development. So they are working at the grassroots level. Then there is the Seva Foundation. It was influenced by Baba Neem Karoli, right? And there is then Ramakrishna Mission. Swami Vivekanand, we all know how compassionate he was, right? And his vision was so good. So when there is realization, when the Vedantic knowledge is practiced, when it is practiced in its full glory, then there is nothing other than you and Brahman, and you worship everything around you. So there is no way that a social work is on another level. It is not something you are obliged to do, or you are doing some charity, or no. You are doing it because it has to be done. There is no other way. It is like you take it as your dharma, your duty, or you just do it because it makes you happy. But it is a value which you will develop for sure. Yes. Yeah. And the social work that I used to do, I think it is like it's good. It's good, but it is a band-aid work, right? There is a wound and you just put a band-aid, but it is not solving that. It is not treating that wound. It won't be like environment. We keep crying, but see, the desires, so many desires we have, that is the root cause of so many problems, right? In spiritual journey or in material journey. So when you are not sorting the like root cause, you cannot, it's just band-aids. How many band-aids you put, it won't work. Like the rivers are so dirty, right? You can, like, you can work like at superficial level, you can work, but it has to come from inside. People should change. How will people change when they'll study about all this? No. So our texts are really very great. They should be studied by everyone to have that change in personality. Only then you can have at the at such levels that you can work for environment, you can work for forestry. It is very fluid thing. If you are in line with the text, if you are studying, if you are like grasping that knowledge of your ancestors, they were brilliant. If you are getting that knowledge, everything solves. I can say that, yeah, everything solves. The prayers are so beautiful, like sarve bhavantu sukhina, right? Everybody is involved, everyone is involved, not of this loka, of all the lokas, of every being is involved. What
All
else?
encompassing.
Yes. So I think social work, yes, if one wants to pursue it, then please study Vedanta, study.
Wonderful. It was a wonderful conversation, Sugandha ji, and thank you for sharing your insights into social work and into uh, the courses that you are doing. And on the behalf of all Advait Academy, wish you all the best for your future spiritual
Thank
journey. Thank you for making time for this session. Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha.
you.